Yes, hello. Um, we are back again on another series to Power BI. Last time we were learning how to connect Excel to your Power BI. So today we want to learn something different. How do we connect Power BI to KoboToolbox? So I'm pretty sure you've known KoboToolbox. So just a quick overview of KoboToolbox. This is a very good tool that we use for mobile data collections. So it looks like this. Um, Let me just quickly do a search for KoboToolbox. So this is a very powerful tool we use for mobile data collections. For those who have not used KoboToolbox, you should try it. Actually, it has a free version. So if you're a student or even trying to do some easy research, try to use KoboToolbox. So we collect a lot of data with the KoboToolbox. So sometimes you want to visualize this data. So we really don't have to, um, you know, download it data from Excel. Is when we analyze it, we can directly connect Kobo Power BI. So that's what we want to do next. So let's go to our Power BI and see how do we do that. So I want us to move directly to Power BI. I want us to move directly to Power BI and see how do you connect this one. So we have two ways. One, I'm going to the web. So you go get data, then web. Web is just, you don't have to click on more options. I'm going to click on web. So once I have clicked on web, I have the URL and then I have the advanced. So I'm going to show us what the basic one does. So I want us to move to the advanced. So I have mentioned from get to web, then from web we navigate to advanced. Advanced is just adjacent here. Then on the advanced, I have URL parts, and then I have the parameters, request parameters. So one thing about Kobo is that we need about two things to connect it. So one is the URL for submissions, and another one is the IP or the token. So what I'll do is I'll come back to Kobo once I have opened the advanced. Then I want to create a URL part that is going to be, useful in my URL parts here. So when I come here in Kobo, you can see I have a number of forms. So let me just click this one here quickly. So I have a number of forms here that I have, but I want to use a dummy one. So for example, need assessment questionnaire for HIV. This is not associated to any sensitive information, but actually it's a dummy questionnaire. So every of these forms have a unique identifier. For example, if I click on this one here, you see if you look at the URL, there's this part here. So across the entire universe, this one here in every Kobo account is different. So this is the form URL. If I'm to click a different form, you realize it's different from the other one. So this part here, this form URL is what we want to use together with other parts to create a URL that we are going to paste here in Power BI. So let's go and see how we create this URL and some of its parts. So I'm going to open a new tab. So first thing you have to do is you have to ensure you are signed in to your Kobo account, because if you're not signed in, then there's no way you're going to retrieve this information first. So the first thing we are going to do, depending on the type of Kobo you're using, we are going to type in kf.kobotoolbox kobotoolbox.org. Now this is the standard URL for Kobo. It's the standard URL for Kobo. So it's just like the website. Then you put a /, and then instead of directly going to that form, we want to direct it to assets. So we're going to add assets, then you put a /, then you put a /. Now, after the assets, we want to call in the form ID. Remember I mentioned this one. So this is the form ID. So the next thing we are doing is we are pasting that form ID. So we are going to bring in that form ID that we have just copied there. So after the form ID, the next thing we want to do is we want to add a forward slash and then write submissions and another forward slash, and then you going to define the format. Now we have different formats that we can extract data. Mostly when we come here, you can see if I come to forms, this is the form that we are trying to extract information from. So the form looks like this. Just a minute as it loads. Yeah. So are you comfortable telling us your name, which country do you come from, etc., etc. So it's just a simple dummy form. So we also have the aspect of data. Now, if you want to extract this data, you navigate to downloads. So you can download it as an Excel file, CSV, JSON, SPSS, quite a number of formats. So we are going to use a JSON format. So that's why we have to add a question mark. Then you write format and then define the type of format that you want. So the reason why we're using the JSON format is because we want to reuse it over and over so that when you do any update on this form, it will automatically be reflected on our Power BI. So you have seen the part of this URL. You've seen the part of this URL. So let me just quickly explain it. So let me explain whatever I'm trying to come up with here. So I have a URL. Okay. So the first part is the Kobo. So I'm going to say HTTPS full colon, no forward slash, and then full colon, and then KF if you are from outside Europe region .KoboToolbox.org. So this is the standard Kobo access URL. So this is a Kobo access URL. So after we have the Kobo access URL, the next thing we are going to call an assets. So basically what these assets does in our URL, it is just pointing to Power BI that navigate to a folder called assets. So there's a folder called assets within the development directory. Then after that, we call a form ID. So this is another part. So we have the form ID, and we've seen how to get that form ID by logging into Kobo, selecting a specific form, and at the top, you'll be able to see the URL. So after that, the next thing we want to get is we want to define the format. So we're going go to folder called assets, navigate to this form, and restrict or move to submission folder again. So inside this specific form ID that we've mentioned, we move directly to submissions. So we want to get these submissions and then we define a format. So we add a question mark, format, and then we define a format. We can get different format. We can get an XLX file. We can get a JSON file, or we can get a CSV file. So depending on whatever you want to get. So once we have done that, so for us to test if our URL is working, just hit enter. So if you do that, you'll be able to see the submissions we have. So the more the submissions, the longer this. So if you don't see this and you have submissions on your form, just know that there's a problem somewhere. So you can also do pretty print to see submission. So you can see I have a form ID submitted null. So you can see the exact submissions, 18 to 24 from Nairobi, from Kiambu. So these are submissions. So this is the link that I am going to copy. Then I'm going to go to Power BI and I'm going to paste it here. So once you've pasted it here, I'm coming back here. So on the HTTP request header parameters, I want to write authorization. Then next to it, I want to get token. So I have to define token because it is what is authenticating access. You cannot just fetch data with that link alone. You need to have an application interface in order to integrate these two applications. So I'm going to write a token and then add a space. And then I'm going back to my Kobo account. Then I want to get the API for my Kobo account. This API is unique across all Kobo accounts. So navigate to your profile app here. Then under profiles, there's account settings. You click on that. Then under account settings, there's this part called security. So here is the API key. So I'm going to display it and then I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to display it and then I'm going to copy it. So let me just quickly do that. I've intentionally closed that so that you will not be able to see because some of you might not be having very good intentions. Good. So I have copied the API key. So the good thing is you display and then you copy it. So once you've done that, just go back to Power BI. And after the token and the space, just paste it. Now don't worry, you've just seen part of it. Not all of it is displayed there. So it's okay. So once I've added that one, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit OK. And I wait. So one thing about linking Power BI with Kobo is that it automatically redirects Power Query. We will learn Power Query probably as we move forward. So once you're done with data connections, and then we move to data cleaning and transformation, that should be the next part. So while I'm here, you can see now I have my data. Well done. I just want to quickly remove some columns. I'm going to choose some columns that I might not need. Okay, let me remove all the submitted by, notes, tag, submission time, geolocation one, status, attachments, and ID. And these. So let me just have these ones left. So these are the only thing that I need here, that I'm going to load these on back to Power BI quickly. We will learn the Power Query in details. So keep on watching, share, subscribe, and ensure you have your notifications on not to miss it out. So I have successfully connected my Power BI with the KoboToolbox. So that means I have a real-time observations. For instance, let's see. I have this distribution. Let's quickly get some simple or quick visuals from this form here. Cool. So are you comfortable telling us your name? Yes, no. Different individuals that have done the same. We can clearly see distributions. Then I also have distributions. How old are you? I have two variations, so I can get any of this. Have you been tested for HIV? So I want to get that data and quickly do if they've been tested for HIV. So I'm going to use a pie chart, and then I'm going to say tested for HIV. Yeah, status HIV status. So I'm going to have that, and I'm going to do a count for yes and no. Good. So you see, I have two people that have not been tested for HIV, and 6 have been tested for HIV. I also want to get total submissions here. So I'm going to do a distinct count for UUID. So I have a total of 16 submissions. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go back to Kobo here and submit this form. I want to add a few more data. Remember, I have done my connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming here Then I want to do an online only multiple submission. I'm going to open a link to help me with submissions for the same data set. So are you comfortable telling us your name? No. Which county are you from? I'm from Nairobi. How old are you? I'm definitely above 25. I'm going to. So above 25. Okay. If you're above 25, it's like you're not supposed to participate in this. So have you been tested for HIV? Remember, from our entries here, we had 16 and 6 of them have been tested. So let's put this one as no so that we can see if this number is going to increase to 3. Which other facility did you get tested? So let me just say hospital. Then I'm going to click submit. So I have added an extra submission. So I want to add one more. No, Kiambu. Let me say this. Then also another no. So I've added 2 no's. Then I'm going to submit. So I've added 2 submissions in this form. So when I come here in my Power BI, the only thing I need to do is I just need to click refresh. And wait a minute. So the 2 more submissions are here. And now you can see our data is changing. So you can see it is real time. So even if you had some people in a different countries and they're collecting your data, it becomes so easy for them. Because even if you're doing real-time analysis, their work is just to collect data and your analysis will be streaming on a real time. So basically that is how we connect KoboToolbox with Power BI. So if you have had a challenge with that, I bet you see how easy that is. So our next series now we want to start understanding doing analytics in Power BI. So we want to learn Power Query in details in our next video. So stay tuned. At least you have the two options. So how do you connect from different data sources? If you want to connect with any other data source, please feel free to drop that in the comment section. I'll be willing to make a video on how to do that. So if you have Salesforce, there are quite a number of data sources that we can deal with. So if you have a specific one that is causing you headache and you'd want me to prepare a video on how to do that, please just don't hesitate, drop it on the comment. I'll be on it immediately. Thank you very much for today, and let us meet next when you're going to learn on data transformations using Power Query. Bye bye for now, and don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe.